Let's make this last forever.
Today I'm gonna play chess with an Indian. His name is Kiriko's 26041.
My God! Wow!
I'm playing black and he's playing white. Now my opponent's first move, white's move, is moving his queen's pawn to d4. My response is moving my queen's pawn to d5. My opponent made an aggressive move, using his bishop to moving his bishop to f4. My response is moving my knight to f6. My opponent used his rook's pawn, moving it to h3. My response is moving my pawn to c5, offering a pawn-to-pawn exchange. Now, my opponent took the exchange and used his pawn to take my pawn.
Seriously, what the fuck are you doing?
I moved my king's pawn to e5, threatening the bishop on f4. And my opponent took the pawn.
Another one.
Now, I also took his pawn, using my bishop, moving it to c5. Now, my opponent, white, moved his pawn to e3. My response is castling, hiding my king. My opponent moved his horse or knight to c3. I move my knight also to c6. Bishop withdraws, goes back, moving it to f4. I move my pawn to d4, threatening the knight and the pawn. Knight moves away. Knight moves to a4. I took the pawn, offering a queen-to-queen exchange. My opponent took the pawn using bishop, moving it to e3. Now queen gives a check to white, moving the queen on a5. Knight blocks the check using the knight. Okay, moving it to c3. I move my rook to e8, threatening the bishop. Knight moves to e2. I move my bishop to f5. Bishop again moves to d2. I move my knight to b4 in order to give a double check. It's also a checkmate. Knight moves away, blocking the bishop. However, my response is taking the knight with my knight, moving it to e4. Now he's in great trouble. Okay, so my opponent responded, moving his pawn to a3. But of course, that one is a wrong move because it will give him a checkmate.
何?お前はもう死んでいる。
Okay, so my move here is moving my bishop to f2, giving a beautiful checkmate. And that's all. That's a wrong move. Okay? Anyway, no matter what he does, anyway will lose.